Good morning, students. Today we are going to begin our economics third chapter, money and credit. As you know, that almost all the works in the marketplaces we are doing with the exchange of money. It makes our works easier. If we have money, then we can buy any of the commodities or the things or the services which we want for. Without money, it is not possible for us to transact the thing. But the earlier days, money was not in use. In that time, it was the system that was used by the people was known as barter system. Barter system means the things exchanged for with another things. Suppose if I want to buy rice, then I supposed to be a producer of sugar, so I will give the rice producer the sugar, and in exchange of that sugar I may get the rice. That system was considered as barter system. So but that barter system had some of the problem. So that problem, this system is problem was known as double coincidence of wants. Double coincidence of wants mean, if I, as I gave the example just now, if I want rice, then I need to have the sugar to exchange, and at the same time the person also has to be in need of sugar. Then only that person will exchange rice with me. So in the book it is given, what a person desires to sell is exactly what others wishes to buy. In a barter system where goods are directly exchanged without the use of money, double coincidence of wants is an essential feature. But the main thing is that if in that during that time when I want rice, if that person do not want or do not need the sugar, then this exchange was very problematic, or the person will deny for the exchange. So during that situation, it creates a problem for me to get the rice. This is known as double coincidence of wants. That means both the person should have the need and should have the things to be exchanged. In contrast, in an economy where money is in use, money by providing the crucial intermediate step eliminates the need for double coincidence of wants. It is no longer necessary for the shoe manufacturer to look for a farmer who will buy his shoes and at the same time sell him wheat. All he has to do is find a buyer for the shoes. Once he has exchanged his shoes for money, he can purchase wheat. So in this part it is said that if suppose I have money, then I shouldn't search for any of the rice producer. I can sell my sugar anywhere to anybody, and then I can get the money, and with that money I can buy the rice what I need for. So for that purpose, money acts as the intermediate in the exchanging process. That's why it is called medium of exchange. So this much given in your chapter, but there are some other problems also in the barter system, like weights and measurement. Suppose if you are exchanging solids with liquid, so then it creates a problem that because at that time weights and measurements were not there when the barter system was going on. During that time, to measure the liquids and the solids was not possible. That's why people might have the confusion that I'm giving him more but he is giving me less. Like that way problem was there. And even the shape and size of the packet. Suppose if you are exchanging 1 kilo rice with 1 kilo cotton, that cotton will look much more than 1 kilo of rice. So in that way also many of the time it creates a problem among the people. That's why people started, or economics started thinking about the medium of exchange, and that medium of exchange we can say as money. Now here in the second topic it is given modern forms of money. So in the earlier days the money was in a form of metallic coins like gold, silver and copper, but presently we are getting the currencies as paper currency and coin currency. But other than that there are some more. So first here it is given currency. Modern forms of money include currency, paper notes and coins. So in the modern days, currency mean paper notes and coins. Unlike the things that were used as money earlier, modern currency is not made of precious metals such as gold, silver, and copper. And unlike grain and cattle, they are neither of everyday use. The modern currency is without any use of its own. So present day currency as paper currency and nickel, it was not like the earlier one. Earlier one in a sense of if we are going just before the present situation, that time it was used gold, silver, and copper, and that have another value also. Like as it was used as the medium of exchange, same way it could be preserved by the people. Like gold and silver, it is used for making jewelries, and it's a valuable possession for the people. So many a times it could be seen that people were preserving those metallic coins for their future. Before this metallic coin, if we are going towards the barter system, then during the time of barter system also, the money we can consider as the goods or commodities which people used to exchange. So that time also, if you don't have anything to eat, so you can use the things which you have in your home. So for that, at the time of exchange, you may not have the commodity with you. So in that way, presently whatever the currencies like paper notes and the coins we are using, that have no other uses except as the medium of exchange. Then why is it accepted as the medium of exchange? It is accepted as a medium of exchange because the currency is authorized by the government of the country. Now the question may come, if other than transaction, these paper notes and the coins don't have any other use, then why we are accepting it as the medium of exchange? Because these are used as the medium of exchange because these are authorized by the central government, and this have the authorized value. In India, the Reserve Bank of India issues currency notes on behalf of the central government. As you know, Reserve Bank is the highest financial authority in our country. Reserve Bank issues the currencies on behalf of the central government. As per Indian law, no other individual or organization is allowed to issue the currencies. Moreover, the law legalizes the use of rupee as a medium of exchange that cannot be refused in setting a transaction in India. That means whenever the Reserve Bank is authorizing the paper notes or the coins, then no one can refuse to transact in exchange of these currencies. Legally, no one can refuse the payment made of rupee. So this rupee is widely accepted in our country as the medium of exchange. This much for today. Thank you.